Well, I had to take a break from doing these. I had a house guest come in. I recently just got cable TV, which just feels like an outside propaganda. It's so different than just having YouTube as my recreational interaction. And so that's really affected me. And so I just decided I needed to turn it off and work a little bit more on the painting. I've done a few things on the painting since I last made a video. I also just kind of felt as if I was shutting down a little bit in terms of what it is I wanted to say. I feel like I need more interaction with other people to bring out perspectives and context and dialogue. And I just watched a Thou Art That video where he responded to me, and he mentioned, truth as being a historically embedded notion that is carried down through time, and that's kind of how it is I look at truth as well. Is that it's first and foremost relative to the individual's association with their cultural standard, and that cultural standard is inherited and embedded and carries on through a verbose form through time. And so we have these notions of truth that that for whatever the extent of the culture is at the whatever your zeitgeist is that you're living in, that is where the notion of truth comes in, steps in, makes itself known, and that's where people then develop their relationship to normative structures of behavior. Like I said, I just got cable TV, and kind of that one-sidedness, the lack of interactability with just imagery that's flashed towards you. I mean, that's the old paradigm. That's the pre-internet paradigm, where you just had movies and news and things coming at you, and you didn't get to re-engage them and have responses and have some sort of connected network with other people. So I think that's really, you know, uh, YouTube is really, the internet's really opened up conversations and it's changed. But that's not what I was going to get at. What was I going to get at? Just kind of that being a paradigmatic shift in the culture allows for engagement and hence opening up oneself relative to other people's discourse. That dialoguing causes and that transparency of the dialogue causes a whole different thought pattern in people's minds, and a certain retractability in their considerations of how things can be. And anyway, so like I said, I hope that people come in the room that want to interact. What I've done on the painting so far, I've laid down an undercoat for both the bottom and the top. I'll be working on this central figure right now, and I'm not certain what it is I want to say. Looks like I got one person in the room that's shown up, but who knows? Who knows who will show up, if anybody? It's late on a Sunday night. Well, it's 9, just after 9 p.m. my time. So I think Thou Art That's an hour before me at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. his time, if he decides to drop in. But who knows? Who knows what people's schedules look like? Don't know what to count on with that. So anyway, yeah, it's just been having a guest over, really hanging out with him and kind of getting an idea of his perspective on life and how I know him. You know, I know him very pretty deeply. He was there for me in a really precarious time in my life, and I'm not certain what to say about him other than that he was, because I don't want to disclose anything about him. He knew I was doing this painting project and everything, but um, it was kind of an unspoken thing that we wouldn't be putting him on it. He just knows it's a thing that I do periodically. So anyway, I just had to spend time with him, and then I really had to reach around and take a look at some of my older videos and some of the things I'm expressing and kind of getting a clear idea of how I might be being interpreted by people, because everybody's different. Everybody's different. That seems just to be a thing, which is interesting because Gary had mentioned his reincarnation idea of having a similar psychology occur in somebody in the future that will be as despot and as his perspective on life will be roughly the same as Gary's, and hence it's like a reincarnation minus the religious overtone of it. And even that though, this idea of everybody's different seems to radiate as more of a general truism than the similarities that we have. And so I really feel like my personality and my being is unique, and I think that everybody else's personality and being is quite unique. So the oneness of our being is kind of, it's almost scary. Because it'll show up once in history, and then flash bam, it'll just be gone. And so it's kind of important to state your piece while you're here, I think, if you're going to participate in this medium. But something also about being serious, about always being serious with your discourse. It's another personality temperament that people utilize and that they express. And some people are more, they are not as serious as they come off to be, and other people are very serious. They want to be taken more seriously than the public receives them. I'm not certain where I come in on that. But oh, all right, silent one's in the room. We got him back. But yeah, kind of watching Thou Art That's video response kind of spurred me on, like, yeah, maybe it's time to paint again and get back on the project, because he had mentioned wanting to be part of the discussion. And so, I don't know, I just barely left him a comment on his video, inviting him in and linking to the other videos that I like or that I had with Amendem. It's it'd be serious to talk. I really have a good connection with Amendem and with Graytex, and pretty good with Sheerwolf in terms of we're more relaxed in how we relate, Sheerwolf and I. But that I think he got a bad taste in his mouth about me a long time ago, and he's probably a little bit better towards me now than he used to be. But I don't know. I'm not as pokey, proddy towards other people as I was. It didn't seem as if it was ultimately serving me to be that way. So, kind of gesture in another fashion, kind of live in another way. All right, Batfly's in here. It's a name I haven't seen in a long time. Batfly. Yep. Right on. But yeah, I don't know. I'm left in monologue here, and sometimes I don't always have the therewithal to conjure a good long video when it's just a monologue. And so if I'm feeling upset about what it is I'm saying, I'll go ahead and cut it short. Leave it like that. Leave it as it will be. The self-musing has never been a good thing for me. I always feel like I need another muse to kind of help me get through my painting process. Well, that's the other thing is thinking about painting and expression as an emotive property, as a relational instrument that is it's discursive, and you don't have lingual capabilities of tying together all associations in the painting. I don't believe. I believe it's an indefinite amount because it's perceptual, and people can bring in new elements into a piece and see certain shapes and draw metaphor to those shapes, and hence draw new meaning to the collective of symbols and lines that they see. And I think that language is a body of its own, in its own right, so to speak. Oh, Batfly. Let's see. I could compose a musical about my muses. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, what this world needs now is another musical. That's what I'm thinking. If it's not your job to do a Batfly, it's going to be mine. Now, I don't know. I don't know where my energies are going lately. I don't really know even where to put myself sometimes. It's kind of like, finding out that expression, what you do for yourself is the core that should be exercised the most, because it's the only core that you have ultimately. You can donate it to the man and working for somebody else and getting a salary, and hence a type of sensual salvation, and the guilt expiation idea seems to concur with working and salary and carrying the yoke, the light yoke of Christ, if you will, always being involved in something. Or you can work on yourself, and you can work on things that you're passionate about. But it's easy, I think, and like in my case, leaving the painting for a while was kind of there was a decompression of my passion towards it, and kind of a step back, rear view look at what it was I was doing, that I thought I really have to step back and reevaluate. And I'm having some real technical problems with how it is I'm deciding to go about this painting, because I want to paint the top in oil, and yet this is supposed to be an outdoor painting that I have to roll up each week and then redisplay the following week for about 14 weeks. And I just know that the oil paint's going to crack if I do that, and yet I'm bound and determined to paint it in oils anyway. So I'm wondering if I'm just kind of cause a huge upset in the painting process itself. So I had to step back just for technical reasons and kind of reevaluate what it is I was doing. But yep. Right now, yeah, my problem is logistical in nature. Trying to figure out how to pull this together and utilize the light sources that I have. Kind of all the light sources, all of it's just kind of out of my head, and so trying to pull it all together as a strict vision in my head is kind of a tough order, tall order. But I'm the one doing it, so I gots to do it. Yeah, I guess I wanted to get back on this idea of language. Like, there's the idea, you know, that language is partially, not in all cases, but partially the way you use it. And so this notion of always trying to get to an explicit or correct language overlooks all of the other forms of language in metaphor and subtlety, or subtlety found within metaphor. And not just metaphor, but associations and comparisons and analogies and inferences, that these things are part of our use process, how it is we use our language. And so for those cases, you know, when you're looking for a meaning in a word, you're looking towards the use in the word. But there also seems as if there are explicit forms of language that are fairly concrete and they're founded, and until the normative ground, the vast zeitgeist paradigm that defines what it is a truth is turned over, it's almost as if you're obligated to abide by the truths that are found and that are abound, and that those become the explicit forms of the language. Those become the things that we have to fall prey to. But people keep opening up avenues of reconsideration and different perspectives, different personalities that you bump onto on the internet seem to expose a whole different realm of conversation and discourse and temperament, and all these things seem to shine through in their words. And I don't know what to say about that exactly, other than euphemisms in language. What about them apples? Yeah, euphemisms. Wow, I really got a load of people in the room all of a sudden. Yeah, euphemisms. Other names for more delicate, light-hearted names for things that are generally take on a harsh purpose. You know, a candy coating or a flowering, they exist in and of themselves as flowery language, as a new way to consider the topic that's at hand. in a lighter fashion, bringing the value up higher. You know, a good euphemism helps politely introduce itself, introduce the topic. You know, it's a navigational property, and that's what I think about them apples. I think euphemisms are important, and I think they're needed for civil discourse, to take harsh steel ideas as hard as steel, and soften them up so they're more palatable to the general audience. Of course, they're not always needed, and sometimes the use of them is abusive because they're not always needed. But they seem to be another type, another category of language that should should be utilized, understood. Again, snoozing is our double-edged sword. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it. I don't know. You know, I was also thinking of the idea of eating your own words. You know, when you reach a certain point in conversation or argument that you have to backtrack on, that one should be used to eating their own words in certain fights, that one should fight and one should lose the fight in order to experience that sensation of eating one's own words, of opening up their current paradigm to a different sort of outlook, a different sort of perspective on things. And I think it's important to be able to be wrong, to want to overextend oneself in an arena such that they are wrong, and be open to criticism as opposed to shutting out the critics. Always assuming one is correct, overlooks a new mind engaging them. What can really be said about certain topics? Anyway, gut busters, gut buster, then nut face. Yeah, gotta love that name. Tiny chat name. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know what other people think about the idea of openly being wrong, putting oneself so far out there that the critics slam you. I mean, it's almost as if you have to have, if you're convinced of something, you're going to run into criticism by necessity, because you're going to run into difference. But it's just that idea of difference that almost has me saying that, you know, if that difference overpowers you, that one should allow that overpowering at some point, such that there's an internal retraction and an eating of one's own words. And I think that's all part of a personal deconstructive process of letting go of your belief system, letting go of what it is you hold dear, and not necessarily thinking the other person as vanquishing you, but just for that time, putting an end to you, putting an end to your thoughts, so that we're not always in the face of believing everything that we think we believe. You can allow yourself to fall away from your belief system, if even for a short while, and and kind of relax in that, kind of relax in the idea that you don't have to always chase the world in a forthright nature with your awake consciousness. You can let your consciousness go lax. You can really try to be open to what other people are saying and be as not only polite but as inquisitive, more inquisitive than you might regularly be, in order to see the center of that person's being, that difference in opinion. Anyway, I'm saying nothing outstanding right now. I'm just filling in the gap while I'm painting some demon skin. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. Wow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people in the room, and none of them are docking. None of them are docking. Which is okay. It's okay, guys. Just leave me hanging. But then again, some people like to talk about themselves a lot instead of talk about topics. Tolerance for others who think they are right when they aren't is more important to me. More important to you than what? Than imposing your own vantage point on them, on the conversation. And being right, yeah. Yep, yep. That's just more of a conversation about how you can open yourself up to other people in difference. Yeah, some people say that they're right fighters. Oh, they're a right fighter. They believe in what they're saying. They would rather be right than open. And so they live their life believing that they're right. And then I think that some shiny day in the future they'll wake up to their misappropriation of self-consideration, and they'll find that they're just a speck of one idea, and that there's not much to them. And then they'll fall into an existential kind of, perhaps a valuelessness, perhaps a type of nihilism, a kind of a worthlessness. I mean, some people will get so caught up in their own thought process that, and they're not willing to admit that they may not be correct, or they may not have the most robust sort of opinion about things, but they're too afraid to fall into a valueless state of self-consideration, but they just uphold themselves so much strongerly and high, so much more in self-strength as being correct, instead of being open to different personalities, really letting other personalities flow. But that's not what I was going to say, but I kind of got off topic. Problems arise when we are right equals war. Yeah, and then negotiation. Negotiation is important. and being able to transcend limits of of self-righteousness for negotiation is kind of important, is pretty important too. But what does all this mean? Why would anyone do that? I mean, I think people should run with their talents the best they can, so self-dissolution is not always the best approach. You know, my personality just happens to have a lot more of that convicted in it. So I'm not necessarily the most attractive personality to bond with, I don't think. In a philosophical sense. But for anyone looking for love, I'm your man. Ooh yeah, I'm one romantic motherfucker. I'm on par with Don Juan. Scooby Dooby Dooby Wrong. I'm still painting hell, so I have my vaporizer. Yeah, no, I was just, oddly enough, I was just saying that to my friend, that I think about moving to Colorado. It's right next door. Love the mountains, love the scenery. He's like, I think you get along better with just the people and the public more so than you do here. And I think he's right. And I've gone to Denver a few times, and I really enjoyed the diversity out there and the kind of the outgoing culture, the art culture, arty kind of culture that was there. It was still kind of a young, vibrant community. But why Colorado? Is that just the Mile High State? Is that the state where you go to find romance? Is Colorado? Come to Colorado. It's the love state. The mile high in the sky love state. Make sure you fly a jet plane. Ooh, ow. Ow, ow. Ba, 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 ba. Yep. Yep, I love mountains. And I need to be painting these mountains. Be painting them soon. Yep, if I can get philosophers in this room with me when I do these paintings, I'll have a nice collection of videos by the time I'm at the end of this painting. Not to say you guys aren't good company. You guys are damn good company, don't get me wrong. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Kool-Aid. Yeah, so what to say? What to add? What am I looking for? You know? In a way, I wish I could rip my theos out of my body. Rip my Godhead out of my body. No longer be insistent on the things that I am insistent upon. I don't want to talk about that. Nope, I don't want to talk about that. What would I rather say? I'm a cool, smooth painter guy. Okay, you guys picking all this up on the painting? The guy in the middle? Is that all showing up? Kind of showing up. Still in. Who are these guys? Perhaps I don't know proper protocol. Should I remain silent too? Well, I don't know which guys you're talking about. Philosopher guys? No, you can dock up anytime you want. I encourage you to dock up. I'll title the video after your name if you dock up. Provided you don't allow someone like Amendum to come in and dominate the show, and then I'd have to put him in the video title instead of Batfly. But yeah, I mean, if you're willing, go ahead. You sound like you get a philosophical attitude. Jump on board the crazy train. Yeah. Illuminated, the Illuminati, the illuminated ones. The ones with special knowledge. Special enlightenment. Small band of characters buy into that. I come from naturalists, evolutionary atheist family, probably the rational discord I grew up with. Probably the most out of the box one out of everybody I grew up with at this point in life. Bum, 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 bum. Painting the back of bones, painting the back of wing bones. This poor guy being dragged out of hell with all the feathers burned off of him, off of his wings. Where is he to go? All he can do is ascend and take his little recovery with him. I should have used this bigger brush earlier. We'll just paint some happy little demon wings here. Oh yeah. Hold on up there. Oh, I totally forgot those ones. Okay, we'll get back to those in just a second. Yep, it's just tiny, chat. I shouldn't call it painting and philosophy because there's probably not too much philosophy in this video. But just to stick with the titles, I think I'll maybe do that. Yep. No one wants to comment? Got all you guys in the room, very few commenters, lookers. It's different than Saturday night in Gary's room, where people on the dock never read the comments. Rarely read the comments. Did I reel one of you in? What the fuck? I'm playing a game and chilling, not talking. Yeah, well, right on, man. I didn't mean to drag it out of you. But I know you got a lot of spare time, too, so... Yeah, it's kind of veg mode, unless a topic comes up. It's just kind of Vegging in my own head. Publicly displaying the veg in my own head. Got a lot of caffeine in my system to keep me going. But not really certain what I should be working on here. But I'm the only one that can decide which way this painting goes. Yes, I can take influence from you guys. Yes, you can influence me. Yes, you can tell me what's up. See, I'm deathly afraid of the character Baphomet, but I didn't put him in here unless one of these little demon guys down here is my Baphomet character. He's got a horn coming out of the center. Gotta put that in. Well, if Batfly would get in here. Kitty, kitty. Kitty, kitty. Well. Alright, we're at 41 minutes already, guys. It's only going to go on for an hour. So you better say your piece, Phyllis. Say what you came here for. Go on, get it out of your system. I won't be hurt. I just don't know what to talk about. What's the subject? Well, the subject is you. When you talk, Silent One, you talk about your life. The subject is about mechanics. Working in a mechanic shop, a machine shop. Hey, kitty. No, that's not the subject, but it could be the subject. If you docked up and made it the subject. That's right, kitty. That's right. It's everything you want it to be. That's what the subject is. It's cattails in your eye. There we go. There's a double meaning with cattail. My literal cattail. Oh. This is where the cat jumps on the computer and errors out the video. Okay, come on down. Leave the inhaler alone. Oh, yeah. Oh, little kitty. That's right. That's right. That's right. So, speaking of downtime, decompression, you might see a video from me on the tube soon. Yeah, I think I subscribed to you when you gave me your YouTube name. I put a walking harness on my kitty because I don't want it to get scared and run off into the park or just lose its sense of direction. Not that it wouldn't find me, but it wouldn't find me on my time, on my schedule. Some people walk their cats, but it's very few. Okay, yeah, please do. You know, make your video, make your piece, say your piece. I know you're a nice person. You docked up at another time. You're going to turn this into an ASMR video. Everything's just dandy. Nope, stay back, kitty. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, see? I got a new laser pointer for the kitty. It loves the laser pointer game. It's the lazy man's play toy. Scratch yourself, huh, kitty? Yep, now it's not painting in philosophy. It's not philosophy at all. It's just petting the cat. I am the true Puka. I'm the true Das Puka. Oh yeah. Well, now there's people bailing. Okay, well, I think that should round it up. I think that's a video. I think I'll end that and keep on my my tiny chat going for a little while. Unless someone docks, then I'll do another video. Did you guys like my mohawk?